Hello everyone and welcome to a new Way of the Hunter video. Today we are going to talk about what should we expect from Way of the Hunter in 7 reasons to be hyped and 2 reasons to be cautious. Without further ado, we shall begin. Number 1. Beautiful environment. So I have been watching the trailers we had been shown on repeat for the last couple of weeks, and one thing that just never got old was the feeling of awe in the beautiful environments. Animal models, and just everything sits in place for me. Pacific Northwest and Romania, or specifically Nez and Transylvania, just look spot on with its wild beauty. The game is based on Unreal Engine 4, but we can talk about this one later. And there will be a photo mode in the game. How it will be implemented is still a question yet to be answered, but it sounds amazing. Number 2. Sheer size of the map. Another thing that came as a surprise to most of us was that each map in the game will be 144 km squares or 55 mile squares. In comparison, each reserve in Call of the Wild is 64 km squares or 24 mile squares. We don't know if any significant portion of the map will be unreachable, but even if we imagine that half of the map is just plain empty, the other half is still bigger than other games we have played and loved. Number 3. Competition. This one has been around ever since the announcement trailer, from the times we had no idea about the game at all, and it is the fact that there will be a competition in hunting games genre, which is, from whichever perspective you look, is brilliant. It will make your favorite games even better, and it certainly means Way of the Hunter knows it has a lot to achieve, and it will probably open a new age for hunting games as a whole, not for a specific brand, but in my opinion everyone who enjoys virtual hunting should be happy about it. Number 4. Developers Past. I have talked a lot about this. Whenever a game launches, I always take a look at the studio's past, their publisher's past, and so on. And in my opinion, if you are not, you should also do that. There are 2 main aspects I am really hopeful in terms of the history of the developers. First is, they have tons of experience. Over 20 years with Cabelas games and other genres. They seem to know what they are doing. Secondly, they are a part of THQ Nordic, which happens to be a really reliable publisher. They have published and supported many games over the years, and as much as I am not experienced with game developing or publishing, as a consumer, in my experience, new studios who try to self-publish tend to fail more. Having such a reliable partner is a wonderful plus for me. Number 5. Details. The amount of detail that has been put into this game actually flew under the radar for me until the release of first gameplay trailer. The details in blood analysis, the details they've put into how HUD looks, with details about species, the animals not being static, but instead moving while they are feeding, the way their ears flap, and so on and so forth. I am just blown away with everything they've put up. Number 6. Community interaction. This one is a personal one for me, but in my time in the official Discord server, I have seen nothing but honesty and pure connection with community managers and the community. They have answered questions that could easily be left unanswered. They interacted with many of the concerns, such as need zones, which they said they did their best to make it as unpredictable as possible, and it all came as a relief to me. Considering many big game developers and publishers simply share a text wall with the community on a monthly basis, this just feels more grounded to me, and I like the fact that developers and publishers just feel like real human beings, rather than an entity you can't interact with. Number 7. Focus on authenticity and accessibility. It seems it has been the vision from the start to make this game as accessible as possible. As also stated in the latest Dev Diary, which I also made a video about, they want to reach the people who potentially may not be interested in a hunting game. It has also been stated that the game should also be accessible to people who just want to observe animal behaviors and just get a taste of brilliant virtual nature. Another aspect is the focus on authenticity rather than pure realism. In my personal opinion, we all think we want realism in games, but what we truly want is immersion. And I think no other term comes closer to immersion than authenticity. I am glad that the original vision is focused on authenticity rather than being the ultimate realistic experience, or on the contrary, being completely arcadey. Concerns. Disclaimers. Concerns here will be all about what I've observed within community, and they may or may not be fixed in the recent future. I will also state my own opinion at the end of each concern, and please do not forget that I am entitled by my own opinions. Number 1. Animations. Specifically, aiming down sight speed. Of course, number 1 is the animations, or in specific, aiming down the sight speed. Many found the ADS speed to be too fast and unrealistic and unhunting game-like. It has been stated that the game will launch as it looks like in the trailers, and they also added they'll do their best to improve the game in the direction feedback suggests, and they could potentially change it in post-launch. In this point, I must state, although I agree with the pace of aiming down the sights animation is too fast for my liking as well, I don't think it is some kind of a deal breaker. I get the sentiment of wanting realism, but I think a lot of people just want this game to feel every single lack of realism in other hunting games. And I totally get the idea here. This is a new game in a genre that rarely sees something new, and everyone expects what they missed from the other games. But although I am hyped, I set my expectations to what will probably happen, and I think it is something I learned after expecting so much from many other games that failed. So although I'm really hyped, I don't expect this game to be the epitome of realism. It simply is not possible to meet everyone's expectations. Number 2. No cross-platform and no last gen. It is something completely beyond my scope, to be honest. I don't own a console, nor I plan to play this game with someone on another platform. But I want to mention this as many consumers still has last gen consoles and potentially wants to play cross-platform. I get why the game is not made on last gen. The game has been under development nearly from the start of the next gen, so it must have been a decision that was made from the get-go, and it probably means less diversion between all the consoles and PC. So in my opinion, it is something good, but it must have been a hard decision as it comes with its own consequences. For example, losing some player base from older gen. Cross-platform is also another issue I see, but I can't comment much on it as I don't get the developing side of it. As I said, I don't have much experience in cross-platform and so on, so it may be really important for you, hence I want to put it down here. That was all for today. I want to lay everything out in the open from what we know thus far. I am extremely excited for this game. Can't wait to play it, but tell me what you think about it. Did you buy the game? Do you plan to buy the game? Do you have any other worries that make you hesitate? Share your comments with me in the comment section, and if you liked, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.